Hey guys, and welcome back. I am the Seven Swords, and this is Let's Play Skyrim with Sarah. I just uploaded the other video, and I did some poking around, and I got a couple of more mods working. Not a lot, but some. And I wanted to do a little bit more recording. So I decided to do a little bit more Skyrim recording. I'm still working on getting the Factorio recording taken care of, but it's taking time, and Factorio is kind of burning my brain out. So I'm trying to get other content up. I will still be doing, like I said, I will still continue Factorio. I just needed a little bit of a break from it and want to do some Skyrim. So I'm going to do more of the Skyrim recording. I got the first mod up. I got the first recording up, but I now have a little bit more modded installed. Two of the mods are my favorite mods. They're both quest mods. They'll be in the description of the second video. The new mods are the ones that were added. Another mod I added was better vampires. It changes how vampires work in Skyrim. I'm not a big fan of how they normally work. I don't like how you get weaker as you don't feed. It makes sense, or you get stronger as you don't feed. It kind of makes sense in a way, but it makes it really hard to play the game. So I basically use better vampires for that. It also adds a couple of other things that you can do into it. There's a few settings in it that I will not be using, but we'll talk about that more when I become a vampire. Sarah will most likely become a vampire at some point, either by her choice or by her mistake, depending on how we look at it. I also tried to get Hunterborn and Campfire installed. Neither have worked. I wished I could have gotten them installed, but I couldn't even launch the game. I don't even know if these are going to work. I also got... Gonna take it a second. I also got a UI mod installed, which I was really happy for, because this was very much a problem for me while playing, was how the UI worked. So I'm glad to see I got the UI working. But what are we going to work on? Actually, question isn't what are we going to work on, the question is where are we going to go, because we're not actually going out into the world. I don't know why I decided to do this. I will bring you guys back when we get back in. Alright. I didn't mean to leave. Like I said, I wasn't meaning to leave. It's obviously way late. She's not going out now. We have enough money to get a room at the inn, as long as none of the mods or survival doesn't raise the price of the inn. Huh? I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind if you could buy a bigger inn. I wish that's one thing I think that games like Skyrim lack is having the ability to buy bigger rooms or better rooms, or the ability to buy a round of drinks for everybody for reasons things that you can do, like you can spend an adventure doing. Wow, popular tonight.
I enjoy this work well enough, but I'm ready to retire. I've been thinking of selling me into Isolda. Drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
Take a look at what she's got for food. Food first. Actually, ingredients first. Yep. We're probably going to buy salt as often as I can, just because of the fact of wanting to have salt for cooking and stuff. Not to mention, it is an ingredient, though I don't know if I'm going to be using it as an ingredient. Let's grab a salmon steak. And do we have any... We do have some meat. We'll go ahead and take 2 bottles of meat. And let's get a room.
Let's sate that appetite,
Yeah. I'm gonna do that a lot because the fact that the UI doesn't change the talking.
Take a look at this. Some of the yard's
men do that, but
sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Find that lying around? Must be your lucky day.
I'll show you to your room, right this way.
Did he just react to the fact that I got the message from her?
Fancy
okay,
robes. You a wizard or something?
A little bit. Perspective one. I know some spells.
Huh?
Hold on. Hold on.
me know if there's anything else you need.
Private room? Hello, sir.
Old friend. Patron of the great clan Battleborn. A name I'm sure you know well.
I've heard it in passing. Alright, before we go over to, before we sleep, we're going to go ahead. Actually, we're going to sleep first. Because I don't want to have to worry about, things. I will bring you guys back when we've... Alright. I've awakened feeling well rested and famished. Oh, that is okay. That's one reason why I didn't eat. Let's go ahead and have salmon steak, Nord bead, still peckish, with a couple of apples, and a baked potato. Carrot. More apples. Really still, wow. I don't know if that's normal. If that, I don't know if I'd still be hungry after all that. We got enough to end the meat. Let's grab a.
Once was a hero named Ragnar.
Yes, Mom. You must be one of those drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
Let's go ahead and grab a bit more food, mostly just for the road. Take a couple of loaves of bread, pork, a couple of cabbages, more baked potato, and a leek.
Need anything else? Just let me know.
I've got $100.
We're gonna head out.
Selling my produce.
Surprisingly enough, we got something to do for our time. We got that bounty letter from the innkeeper. Rodin's Retreat. Classic one. That'll also give us something to go to see the Jarl for. Not that I particularly want to see the Jarl. Don't really have... Sarah doesn't really have a reason to want to go see the Jarl, but she does need money, so... Just to wake her up at it's close to 6. She is an early riser. Mostly just because of the fact that she knows she needs to get to work. She's eating and sleeping her money away, but she hasn't made it much. She's made a little bit thanks to Cicero. But we're gonna go try our hand at bounty work. She probably doesn't want to be a bounty hunter, but she probably sees this as more likely to get her supplies than or money than doing much else. Kind of wish we had a I wish we had a backpack. Need to get one, but we haven't gotten one yet. She probably wants to get a backpack so she can carry a little bit more. Also need to get some alchemy done eventually. Start raising our alchemy level. It's over in that direction. I would go without using the compass if it wasn't for the fact that the game doesn't really do well to tell you where things are. I'm trying to catch bees in third person. I like being in third person in this game a lot, especially when I'm just walking around. If I'm fighting, I'll usually go to first person, but I like being in third person to kind of have the cinematic view of the world around me. Full of giants. You get giants a lot in this campaign. I would say running into giants a lot, but then again, I think about it, Skyrim's got a lot of giants, especially in central region. Whiterun Hold. I know there are bandits over there, but Sarah's probably not trying to get herself into any more trouble than she has to. She's probably more interested in taking these bandits out. I don't think that she's afraid of bandits. I think she just doesn't. I think she just knows that she's underprepared for it. Going to Winterhold and doing the Winterhold quest of magic is probably a goal of mine, but it's also one of those things of I don't want her to go straight there. Her to do a little bit of other things first. Especially since getting there would be, I would think, expensive. Because she's probably going to use the carriage to take her there. Not to mention it's freezing up there, and she doesn't want to go north if she doesn't have to. If it was like, oh, it's in the south, yeah, she'd be going there in a heartbeat. Because it'd be a good way to get her magic up, but she really doesn't want to expose herself to the northern winds again. Down here in the central, it's still chilly. Go do a little bit of sneaking. I don't think there's anybody outside. Nope. Of course. Oh, he's gonna be looking for flowers. Let's head in. I might pause the recording for loading screens at times. I might not. Depends on how long I feel like the loading screens are being. If I'm noticing loading screens getting a tad long, I might decide to there's a dog. We have a bow. She doesn't have a bow. I feel like we have a bow. We have a few arrows. Not many though. Her archery skills come from hunting. Her father taught her to hunt when she was just a kid, and that became her go-to strategy for providing for herself. One reason why she can butcher. If mods were working, I would be allowed to butcher myself, but she does have her standards, though. Those arrows. I do know. I'm having to get used to the fact that arrows have a weight, so I'm trying to decide how many of them I want to keep on me at the most. I'm thinking maybe maybe at least carrying 20 once I get a home, and then no more than 100 while I'm out. Maybe. I don't want to have a massive stash of them, not just because of the fact that I don't want them for weight purposes, but I also don't want them because I don't want to be just carrying arrows for no reason. Cabbages. There goes something for our breakfast, or maybe our lunch. I only have one lockpick, so ooh, there we go. Lockpicking is just a skill that she's obtained over the years. Something that she picked up. I think it's one of those things of it's a survival thing. She's had to survive without her parents for a while. I mentioned the fact that her parents died in the last episode. I didn't mention the fact that it was supposed to be when she was young. Like, she wasn't even supposed to be like more than 7, and right now she should be in like, if she's not 18, she's around 20. Well, by our standards. I don't know if Bretons age differently than other mortal races, and I don't know if what Skyrim's standards for how old you have to be an adventurer.
Come back here.
Okay, we need to switch over to. We're gonna switch over to the Iron Mace, even though I don't want to. Rather her have a sword. At least it's one-handed. And their skills are going into the right area. Appears that this person is. Appears that she's stuck. Okay. Okay with this. I might cut this out. Because if this bandit chief isn't very smart, then I might just cut this out. Alright, let's give her a chance. That's a bad idea. Oh, good. Well, this hurt. though, is kind of annoying. I might try to find a way to fix that eventually, but... Nope. Maybe I shouldn't have given her a chance. Oh, good. No, 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 no.
You won't live
No, 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 no.
tomorrow.
Ring around the rosy. It's gonna own me.
I swear.
You might call this cheesing the game. I call it tactics. Nope. Got her. Definitely imagine that was probably Sarah panically running around the room trying to keep herself from getting hit and getting scared of the fact that the bandit's actually a lot stronger than she gave her credit for. Well, I tried equipping that, but it doesn't appear like it worked. Just so you guys are aware, I do get a warning when I load up the game that the UI mod is not working properly. I don't know if that'll definitely be better. We're gonna switch to a steel sword as soon as we can, or a one-handed sword as soon as we can, but I'm okay with having okay with going with a steel mace for now. I find it weird that my health bar disappeared even though it was not full. There we go. I mentioned her father was a spellcaster. He taught her a lot of the magics that he knew as she grew up. I mentioned the fact that he has secrets. I plan on talking about those if it becomes relevant, maybe making references to it for a while. I might eventually have her, eventually explain more about that, but I don't feel like doing just a big lore dump on who she is this early is important. A blessed iron sword. And take it and disenchant it later. Like keep it. I might end up getting rid of it if I end up having too much in my inventory. We are gonna have a spot of lunch while we're down here. You can only imagine what time it is. Actually, it's only between 8 and 7. That's not actually that bad. I was expecting it to be a lot later than that. Potatoes. Might check the cooking spit and see what's going on with that. I'm gonna leave this in just because of the fact that it is the first, but in the future I might have it be that if we're running around just looting the place, I might just pause the video and then bring you guys back if we find anything interesting. But let's go ahead and take a bit of a cooking. Let's go ahead and check the cooking now. Potato stew, cabbage soup, leeks, leg of goat, potato soup, vegetable soup. I wonder if it moves everything that I can craft to the top. It definitely seems that way. Now let's check. Okay, so it does do that. Cool. That's really useful. Take a leg of goat as well. Oh, yes, that's everything. Then let's go ahead and have a spot of lunch. She probably is sitting on this crate, having a spot of lunch while the food she prepped cooks. Go ahead and have that leg of goat and the vegetable soup to wash it down. Alright, now we're fully fed. Alright, let's get out of here. I've already searched all these bandits, so I won't bother looking at any more of them. We're not looting the dog. Well, we'll take the arrow back, but we're not looting the dog meat out of principle. I don't personally have a problem with people who eat dog as long as it's not somebody else's dog. but I personally don't like the idea of it, and I'm just going to imagine that Sarah doesn't either. I personally have never tried it, so I'm not the type of person to knock something if I haven't tried it before. But I can definitely say that I do not have high hopes for it if I ever would get this opportunity for it. Say I'd take it up, but I can't say I'd deny it either. I'm just not that type of person. I really need to pay attention when these say empty, because if they're empty, there's no point in me looking at them, and if they're empty, because it's just going to take time for it to load. More salt. Quite a bit of salt. Main reason why I'm searching all of these is the possibility of salt. Oh. I know how to start the 2 quests that I installed that I really like. Both of them just take time. I have to be a specific level before they activate. The test character that I used to test it was level 12, and one of the quests fired. The other quest didn't fire, but that's because the other quest wasn't installed. I had a tendency after Hunterborn and Campfire completely broke my installation, where I would just install one mod at a time and then try it, and if it worked, I'd install the next one and got to this. There's only like a handful of mods. I think the only ones I installed were the 2 quest mods and better vampires. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I'll put a list in the description. But my brain's not great at remembering things, especially names and stuff, especially since I basically was just trying to install as many mods as I could think of that I liked. The UI mod was something that I've been wanting for a while. I tried looking for a camera mod, but I couldn't find one, so we're still stuck with my character faces the way the camera is facing. But I'm okay with that. Campfire and Hunterborn weren't working, and I tried looking for some other mods, but eventually got bored. Full sword held by a skeleton. Now, this might seem like an odd. Okay, nerd, shush. I'm doing character development. This might seem like an odd information, but she probably would want to take this sword, even if it wasn't very good. It's the steel sword she's been looking for, which makes it really important. But even if it wasn't a steel sword, even if it was like just a battle axe or a claymore or something like that, she probably would still want to take it. And the reason is that she would probably think that this was a gift from her father. Little fish in the water. She would think it's a gift from her father. That might give a little bit more information about who her father is, but I will talk about her father. Her father is not it's not a named person in the game. It's not somebody from Skyrim or anything like that, or from an Elder Scrolls game, or from any game really. It's just from did that fish just push me? But it's just a character that I created for D&D as her father. His name escapes me right now. I will eventually try to remember his name, but definitely will bring it up later, but I think she'll take it. Definitely odd. For her, the skeleton holding the sword up would be the reason for her father. Her father was a necromancer. Her father was actually a very powerful necromancer. And her father was actually a lich. But we'll move on. I'll leave that information to be picked at later. If you guys want to know more about it, keep watching. Now she's a lot more comfortable with fighting because she's now got a sword. She was trained much more with the sword than she was with heavier weapons. Although in her mind, if she had a staff and could fling more spells, she'd be happier. Definitely going to be going down the spellcaster route. You probably will use this excuse to talk to Farengar, the wizard up there. She'll probably use him to get the information. So I will actually bring you guys back once we get up there. And welcome back. Just did a quick walk up through the city. Didn't want to have to drag you guys through that. Came to see the steward, of course, to return her bounty. Bandit leader at Rudder's Retreat is dead. I'm here for the bounty.
Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward.
Thank you. I'm gonna say thank you for that. Nothing on there right now is anything that she would be interested in. Now what she is interested in is that she saw this over here, and he's definitely working at a disenchanter.
Come to Dragon
Probably talks to him for a minute, gets permission to use the Alchemy Lab for one.
The rest of the great warriors.
Actually, I haven't opened this one yet. I wonder how this. So that's how this is gonna work. Not sure entirely how I feel about this. Oh, we haven't eaten anything. Yes. I'm going to let this go for a bit longer, but I'm going to do some quick alchemy, eat some plants. It's not something you guys need to see, so I will bring you guys back as soon as I am finished with all of that.
College in Winterhold.
Hey guys, and welcome back. I was just about to leave, bring you guys back.
Tranquility
He
in
mentioned
magic,
something
don't
about
you think?
Winterhold.
It is simply energy to be harnessed by
Where did you
those
say I
with
could
the
learn
will
more
and
about magic?
a prospective student, are you? Well,
Yes.
I'm afraid I'm not much good at teaching. You should try your luck at the College of Winterhold.
College of Winterhold. Well, thank you.
Remember, your mind is the best weapon you have.
I don't know if she knew about the College of Winterhold prior to. I mentioned the fact that she probably would want to go there, but it's cold. She probably got more information from him.
Are you a wizard?
About like where Winterhold is, and found out it was in the north, and was like, it's a little cold up there. She did buy a spell book from him. I wanted to buy more, but we could only afford one. I also used up a bunch of the potions. We might go back to him once we can get more, but we ended up buying Candlelight. That was more of a spell for you guys, more or less than a spell for me. I like Candlelight and Mage Light, but I know that YouTube can get pretty dark with its compression, so I don't want to you guys have to deal with that. I will be using Mage. I will try to remember to use Candlelight when we go into dark dungeons and we're not being stealthy. If we're being stealthy, then I'm just going to have to apologize for the light or the lack thereof. We're gonna go see Aetherius Cauldron. It's an apothecary. My guess is that when she was coming out, she probably noted it on the way out. And no one seems to mind if we go ahead and pluck a few of these. I'm gonna stop in and see Arcadia, do some trading with her.
You'll find what you're looking for. If not, you look rather pale.
We're currently at 28
Could be
minutes, but I'm
ataxia.
probably gonna let it run
It's quite
longer.
a problem back home in Cyrodiil.
Alchemy training.
Ah, so you're an alchemist then?
If I can get my alchemy to level 30, the better. Potions. No, not your potions. My potions. I've created quite a few potions, but none of them are very good, so she's probably just going to end up selling most of them. There's a level up. We'll do that tonight. Potion of minor stamina. Gotta keep that. This Magica. She is running low on coin. That's okay. There we go. Let's go back to this real quick. See if she's got anything useful. Blister Wort restores health. That's good. I know wheat restores health personally, so we'll use that for more restoration of health. Damage stamina. Okay.
Come back
She basically
anytime
did
when
she
you're
basically
ready.
knows she needs more health potions. That time with the bandits was nearly enough to knock her on her butt, and she does not want that to happen. So she is definitely going to be doing this. I noticed that it does this, and I like that.
A fine potion you put together.
I'll go ahead and throw that one together just to have that.
I offer
We'll walk
remedies
the
for
fire.
ailments.
Fire hat. Don't want to walk into fire. I probably could have sold more of the potions that I made to her, but actually I'm going to. I will bring you guys back when we head out the front door of Whiterun. Actually, I'll bring you guys back when we go talk to the person I'm planning on talking to. Alright, we're back. I wasn't planning on doing this particular quest. I was looking for a different one, but I don't mind doing this one. My imagination is that she came down to pay her respects to Arkay, the god of life and death in Tamriel. I mentioned the fact that she's a pilgrim in the last one. She actually does believe in the Nine. She worships all 9 of the divine, including Talos, which she knows is illegal here, so she doesn't talk about it. So she won't talk about it much, but she does believe in the 9. She does believe in all 9. Her parents were very big into teaching her about the 9, and so she does respect all of the 9. And I do understand that that does mean that her father, being the fact that he was a necromancer and even a lich, kind of seems odd, but, well, more on that later. But she mentioned she was told about this being where the Arkay statue was, and she wanted to speak with Aetherius here.
Tell me, do you believe in mighty Arkay, god of life and death?
The god of death? I know him well.
I'm glad to know that, because I need your help. You see, I've lost something precious.
What did you
My
lose?
amulet of Arkay. It's the source of my divine powers and also a sacred badge of office. I misplaced it in the catacombs. I'd look for it, but I have been hearing noises down there, and I fear the dead have become restless. Without that amulet, I'm powerless to confront them. Would you be willing to search for it?
Sure.
I'll just wait here and make sure nothing foul escapes the catacombs.
Oh, wait. That's right, he said something foul. Wish I still had that iron sword. Do I still have that? Did I delete that? Or did I disenchant that? Oh, I wish I'd have kept that. Still have the steel mace. We'll probably sell that eventually. She's probably sitting here wishing she hadn't disenchanted the iron sword just yet. Since catacombs usually mean undead, and undead usually means, well, cerns. Technically, she shouldn't. Technically, if we were going by her Skyrim stats, she wouldn't. Well, she wouldn't have as much of an issue if she was as powerful as she was when she was a kid in D&D. Let's go with flames instead of healing. Oh. Big skeleton, you hit very hard. Ow! Stop it. Bad skeleton. No. We're going to leave the dead in peace. Or pieces. Peace. She's not going to steal from the dead. Not these dead, at least. She kind of is under the impression that there's a reason they're raising, and that this is how she deals with this. If she had another way of dealing with this, she would. Like, if she could make them just, like, leave her alone, she would. She would much rather do that than injure them. She definitely understands that this is probably not normal for them. There's his amulet. You can tell I've done this quest before. My guess is that she, if I played this out, she would wander these catacombs for probably a while looking for them. Did I grab the strange gem? I meant to grab the strange gem. My guess is that's the only thing she grabbed. Yeah, I grabbed it. That's probably the only thing that she'll take out of here without permission, and it's because of the fact that there's like a part of her that it's like she thinks it's important, so she wants to take it. I do not know if we're going to. I don't know where all of the stones of Baron Zaya are, so we might not do that quest. I haven't decided. She's just gonna throw that into her pocket just in case. But we have his amulet, so now we can give it back to him.
With this terrible war... Oh, thank Archay! Please, take this gold for your troubles.
And she probably would argue with him about it, and he probably would not let her. So she probably would finally lament and say, "Fine, you can keep. I'll take it." But what? No. I was gonna say she'd leave it at the altar, but I don't know if I can. Can I drop coins? We're going back in real quick. Am I able to drop coins? I've never really tried in Skyrim, so I'm not entirely sure. I thought you could. It doesn't seem like it. I thought you could, and for some reason, but it doesn't seem like you can. Let's see. No. Doesn't look like. Do I have anything of value that I could leave behind? Oh, an amethyst. That'll work. So I believe she leaves the amethyst as like a, you can pay me, but I'm going to leave something here for you. Or at least for Archay. She does believe in the gods. That doesn't mean she's not necessarily going to ever do anything that would be against them. She respects and believes them, but that doesn't mean she's going to. That doesn't mean they rule her existence. Her father taught her a lot about the gods when she was growing up. It's one reason why she is why she sees herself as a pilgrim. She would see herself as a priestess if you would believe it, but she doesn't actually feel like she ever will be worthy of being a priestess because there are standards of her life that she has that will be different. This is who I was looking for.
Sometimes I miss the soldier's life, but when I hold my daughter in my arms...
She saw them arguing when I was on my way to Dragon's Reach, so...
My Sapphire doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room. I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the Whiterun guards or maybe hire the companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you. If you find that sword, please.
Valheim Towers. Okay, I know where that is. Where is the... Oh. Well, that's probably going to be a quest eventually, but not right now. Not right now. Let's go find his sword. That'll be our next quest. He knows where the tower... She probably asks him if he knows where the towers are, and... Well, she plans on heading in that direction. I apologize for not talking during that. My brain was thinking on stuff, and I'm trying not to talk while they're talking so that I don't talk over them. Actually, that also reminds me of something else I meant to do, and I have not done it up to this point. I will see you when we get through this loading screen. Alright, we made it through the loading screen, and I've also adjusted a few settings. One of the settings I adjusted was dialogue subtitles, and general subtitles. We will now get subtitles for NPCs talking, so that if you guys want to hear something you guys want to know what somebody's saying while I'm jabbering, you can see it at the bottom, or if you want to read them while we're doing the talking. I didn't think about that until that dialogue scene, so I decided to change that. Ooh, Khajiits.
This one needs something? Take a look.
What do you have for sale? Stamina. That's useful. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's get rid of the mace. Don't need that no more. We'll keep the Fiat for our armor. We're gonna go ahead and give him the helmet. Keep the necklace for now. You can have the resist fire. scrolls. I don't use scrolls or potions for all that much. I use potions mostly for healing, and I've been trying to get better at using poisons. We're gonna go ahead and sell the flour. I didn't get any money for that, but that's no big deal. So we're gonna sell the last seed and Aedra and Daedra. Well, the ironing good. I don't even know why I'm carrying that. Probably from that quest we did with learning how to smith. Alright, and then actually can get the backpack. Is there another backpack that's any better? Like a backpack with I would like a hunter's backpack if I could get one. Or a magic backpack. Yeah, let's get the magic backpack. She's mostly going to try to keep. I'm mostly going to try and keep her from changing clothes while walking around, other than putting backpacks on and taking backpacks off is a good one. I'm really glad that Skyrim added backpacks by default. I felt like it was always something that should be in Skyrim. That an adventurer with a backpack is pretty normal, especially with the mod that, especially with survival limiting your carrying capacity. Before she goes, she is going to talk to the horseman.
Need a ride?
If she would like to hire, if she wants to hire his carriage to take her to Winterhold, it's 50 gold. Okay,
that's fine.
Gold right now, but she could have the gold if she works on it, which she's going to, because all she has to do is loot the bandits for their goods and then sell those goods, which she's okay with doing. I mentioned the fact that in the first episode that she is a good character by nature. Well, I would say she's morally gray. She tries to help people out mostly, but she's also willing to steal. She's willing to do stuff that isn't right if it's for the benefit of herself or those she cares about. It's her thought process always goes, if what she gains outweighs the loss of those around her, in her mind, then she's okay with that. Which probably sounds pretty selfish, but that's just who she is. Her father was partially an influence in that. Her mother was more of a guiding spirit for her. Her mother was a druid, and she was one of the she was actually the head druid of her village back when she was a kid, before she met her father and then fell in love with before Sarah's mother fell in love with Sarah's father. Sarah's mother was a priestess and a druid in the druid she grew up in, which is kind of what encouraged Sarah to go down this route. Being a pilgrim, serving the Nine. I imagine it still ran the same. Her mother and father were both Bretons. That's actually not something that changes much. Her mother and father were relatively normal humans. I mentioned the fact that Sarah was an Echo. Neither of her parents are Echoes. That's more about her backstory than I want to share at this episode, though, because we're getting close to the end. I actually have 44 minutes. There's a bit of I have to cut out, but not much. I'm going to let this run a little bit longer than 45, since there's a bit I have to cut out. I'm going to try and do it a 45-minute episode and see how long that takes to upload. You guys might get longer or shorter episodes. They'll never exceed an hour, and they'll never be, and I will try to never make them under 20 minutes. Treasure Hunter. Oops. All that stuff up. Let's check out this treasure hunter's note before we go. I'm close to finding the Iron Sword of Souls. I've tucked it down in Bleak Falls Barrow. It appears to be guarded by a Draga overlord. Huh. Falls Barrow. Like Riverwood. I think I've heard of Riverwood before. Maybe Riverwood. Bleak Falls Barrow. Seems oddly, it means something. Fine. oh, that's an interesting find for her and something for her to digest. She might go looking into this blessed iron sword, find out what this treasure hunter was seeking. But that'll be in later episodes. I've been the Seven Swords. You've all been amazing. If you guys have liked this episode, hit that like button. If you want to see more of these episodes, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see y'all in the next one. Talk to y'all later. Bye.